When it comes to pregnancy, most women focus on setting up the nursery or maybe finding a good prenatal vitamin. Not that those steps aren't important, but I think in pregnancy we tend to overlook the really critical role of minerals. In my opinion, they kind of run the show when it comes to risk reduction. To put it simply, minerals are the electrical and the structural function of the body. They're super important for hydration, managing your blood volume, regulating the nervous system, and they play a huge role in fetal development. Pregnancy sort of requires this massive demand in mineral utilization, and I think most women are going into their pregnancies already depleted. So let's start with the minerals that I consider to be the most foundational. This is your magnesium and your sodium, or your salt. Magnesium is critical for nervous system regulation. It's incredibly important for muscle relaxation, supporting blood sugar, as well as reducing your risk of preeclampsia. When we talk about sodium or salt, it's really important that you understand I'm talking about high quality mineral salt or sea salt. None of that table salt. A high quality salt is responsible for helping your blood volume expand during pregnancy. Salt is also essential for proper hydration. During pregnancy, I always add like a couple of pinches of high quality sea salt to each bottle of water. And not only does it restore my hydration, but it fulfills my electrolyte needs without a lot of effort. Salt is also really important in supporting your adrenals, which will support your response to stress and your energy levels. I think it's important to understand that your obstetrician may warn you against consuming too much salt. They're totally correct when it comes to that low quality table salt that's in all of our junk foods and ultra processed foods. But when it comes to a high quality mineral salt during pregnancy, it's critical. Next, I want to talk about the minerals that are sort of just responsible for overall balance in the experience of pregnancy. Potassium. Potassium is super important in its partnership with sodium to regulate blood pressure and help with fluid balance in the body. Calcium is super important for building babies' bones and teeth. You need extra calcium during pregnancy, and this is super important because the baby is going to get calcium whether there's extra reserves of it or not. And where they draw that calcium is directly from mom's bones. So let's make sure we're getting plenty of calcium. Calcium also plays a role in reducing the risk of preeclampsia. As it pertains to oxygen and growth, we have 3 minerals responsible for that. Iron is critical for oxygen transport throughout the blood, and it also prevents conditions like anemia. Zinc is important for cell division, robust fertility, as well as immune support. Iodine is also known as the thyroid mineral. Thyroid health is essential for a healthy pregnancy, and iodine also plays a role in the development of your baby's brain. It's really important to note that all of these minerals do not work well in isolation, and they should not be considered in isolation. They have what I like to call a synergistic relationship with one another, meaning that if one mineral is off, it throws off the entire cascade. Okay, so we care about minerals. What's the practical approach? We want to prioritize nutrient-dense whole foods. We also want to replace that cheap, crappy table salt with mineral salt or sea salt. Not only do we want to use that sea salt in our water bottles to help improve our hydration, but we want to use it to season our whole foods home-cooked meals. We want to always be mindful of minerals, especially as we go into pregnancy. And in the preparation process, it's a really good time before pregnancy to sort of practice feeling out what well-balanced minerals feel like in our bodies. Pregnancy isn't just about one thing. It's not just about minerals. It's not just about stress. It's not just about nutrient-dense whole foods. It's about rebuilding and supporting an entire system that as Americans, we've sort of been neglecting and abandoning the last few generations. Again, this is not about shame. This is just about learning and informed consent and exploring better ways to bring healthier children into the world and to have better experiences in pregnancy, birth, and postpartum. I talk so much about preparation. I even made a free guide. I've got it down in the description below. It's called My Preconception Risk Reduction Blueprint. Use the link in the description to get access. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next time.